along with me. Breaking news, it's a thrill. Live chat, got time to kill. XP, we're breaking the mold. Special guests, stories untold. Unfiltered truth, no hidden clues. No suit and tie, it's all for you. Out of the newsroom, into the light. No suit and tie, it's feeling right. Unscripted moments, the host is scary. On Next News Network, we never vary. On YouTube, we're streaming live. On Rumble, the chat is alive. On X, we're trending high. And mainstream media's dead, and we are why. Millions of followers, hear us out. Seen all over the world, there's no doubt. We are the future, shining bright. Join the raw feed every night. Out of the newsroom, into the light. No suit and tie, it's feeling right. Unscripted moments, the host is scary. On Next News Network, we never vary.
Good evening and welcome to the Raw Feed, the show that brings you the stories they don't want you to hear. I'm Gary Franchi, and tonight we've got a lineup that will make your head spin. We're diving into 4 explosive topics that are shaking the foundation of our nation. First up, an assassination plot against President Trump foiled at the last minute. You'll hear the chilling details of how close we came to disaster again. Then we're heading down to the border where Trump is doing what Kamala won't. The stories you will hear will shock you to your core. And then we've got exclusive footage of Vivek Ramaswamy crashing the DNC. Trust me, you don't want to miss this political theater. And then finally, we're pulling back the curtain on the DNC's desperate attempts to salvage their sinking ship. From cocaine scandals to communist newspapers, it's a circus that you have to see to believe. But before we dive in, I want to remind you of something special that we do here. Unlike those talking heads on the mainstream media, we believe in hearing from you, our viewers. So throughout the show, we'll be interacting with you in the live chat and getting your real-time reactions to the bombshells we're dropping tonight. Yes, we will. And then here's a little pro tip for you. You want to stick it to the algorithms trying to silence us? Share this stream via text message to your friends and family. We're broadcasting live on YouTube to millions worldwide, and we're also streaming on Rumble and X. Make sure you follow us on those platforms too, because you never know when the tech overlords might try to shut us down. Now let's check in with the chat. I see you're already fired up. Welcome to the show, Patriots. Your voice matters here, and we can't wait to hear what you think about tonight's stories. So buckle up, folks. It's going to be a wild ride. Let's dive into the truth they don't want you to know. We got Jeremy here, George and Dave in Winfield. We've got Kat. We've got Ellen, Stephanie, S.D. Young. Jeremy Olson is here, and we've got this Nightbot, a little aggressive. Turn him down. Yeah. We've got Roseanne in the house as well. Greg is here, Boston, Massachusetts. We've got Hey Dot. Let's hit that like button, friends. Thank you. Yes, we do need to hit the like button. Tammy's in the house. We've got so many people. Greg and Common Sense. Arlene is here. Sure You is here. Chris. Everybody is lining up. Nelly Girl is here, and she's excited to catch this live. Now, I want you to text the chat and chime in where you're watching from. Whether it's your city, your state, or your country, we always like to know where everybody is watching from. And also, how about this? Are you watching on a smart TV, a smartphone, a tablet, or a PC, whatever? Let us know. It helps us get an idea of how everybody is watching the show. We do get most of our viewers from smartphones. So let's get into this now. We've got this first big story. This was the big story today. In a shocking turn of events that reads like a Hollywood thriller, an alleged assassination plot against former President Donald Trump was thwarted today. As Trump prepared to visit the southern border in Arizona, authorities launched a manhunt for the 66-year-old Ronald Lee Servood, a registered sex offender suspected of planning to shoot the former president. Now, this is not just a close call, folks. It's a reminder of the very real dangers facing those who dare to challenge the status quo. Now, check this out. Are you listening? As we witness these attempts on President Trump's life, it's clear that our world is becoming increasingly unstable. And just like Trump, you need to protect yourself and your family, and that's where Global Gold Investments comes in. With gold prices skyrocketing past $2,400 an ounce, now is the time to secure your financial future. Don't wait for the next crisis to hit. Call 888-700-4148 for a free portfolio analysis and the 2024 Insure Your Money Wealth Preservation Guide. Mention Next News for VIP treatment. Your future self will thank you. Now, let's get into this. This is, we were worried that another attempt would happen. We watched the different plane malfunctions with Trump Force 1 and, of course, Vance's Trump Force 2. And, of course, what happened in Pennsylvania in Butler, that was a close call. But now this all unfolded today, an urgent manhunt for Arizona suspect who threatened to shoot Trump during his border visit. Urgent manhunt for Arizona suspect threatened to shoot Trump visiting the border today. Arizona authorities have launched an urgent manhunt for a suspect who allegedly threatened to shoot Donald Trump during a trip to the border. And now we're learning also, not just this moment, but something happened in North Carolina just yesterday. This is all coming to light. So it looks like there was also an attempt in North Carolina. We're going to get to the bottom of that. And, of course, Donald Trump's reaction. A manhunt underway for a man threatening to kill President Trump during his visit to the border. Authorities searching for a 66-year-old Ronald Lee Servood, who's believed to be in Cochise County where Trump is visiting. Now, Donald Trump was actually asked about this manhunt. And listen to him.
Also have a job to do.
There was a manhunt going on in this county. Somebody made death threats to you. Did you hear about that before coming?
No.
And what are your thoughts coming down here? Some people told me it's dangerous for you to be here.
I've heard it's dangerous, but I also have a job to do. I heard it's very dangerous. I haven't heard about that. They probably want to keep it from me. Thank you for telling me. Let's get out of here right now. No, thank you very much.
So they kept it from him. There was a manhunt underway. They didn't even tell him.
For saying, but no, and I have great respect for Secret Service, the job they do, including a month and a half ago when they were jumping on top of me with bullets flying right at them. So mistakes were made, and they're going to learn from the mistakes, but I have great respect. But no, I haven't heard that, but I'm not that surprised. And the reason is because I want to do things that are very bad for the bad guys. Mm-hmm. So I have heard it's very unsafe to make this trip. There were some people that really didn't want me to make it. Yeah.
So he made the trip regardless of what happened. Now, we're learning here Donald Trump was just forced to end an interview early due to the threat of another assassination attempt. Now, this is all what just happened on the scene. We've also, Andy No has uncovered the social media accounts of this lunatic. We'll get into that in a second, and then we'll go back and take a look what happened yesterday in North Carolina. But first, here is Libby Dean posting that Trump cuts the interview with News Nation, Ali Bradley TV, citing safety concerns. Listen.
Obviously, in this area, obviously an assassin tried to kill you.
Yeah,
the sheriff's
Can
right
I tell
now,
you something?
Sure.
We're in danger standing here talking, so let's not talk any longer. No, I know about it, but they don't want me standing here. They don't want you standing here either. Have a good time. Thank you very much.
They don't want me standing here. Donald Trump, this is from News Nation. 3 hours ago, Donald Trump abruptly ended an exclusive interview with News Nation on Thursday when a security detail alerted the former president and Republican nominee that he would not be safe continuing the interview, stating that we are in danger. Trump rushed away by Secret Service during an interview. And we have this violent rhetoric to thank. We have Nancy Pelosi comparing defeating President Trump to America going to war against the British and Confederacy, Carrie Bone on X basically stating that Pelosi just gives the okay to assassinate Trump. Listen to this.
Nation. We have to defeat a person who is a threat to our democracy of the kind that we have not seen. At the beginning of our country, Thomas Paine said that times have found us. Declare war, establish a new nation. Abraham Lincoln took up that charge to keep our country together years later, decades later, and now the times have found us to save our democracy. That is what we are here to do.
That is what we're here to do, folks. That's what we're here to do. Save our democracy from the evil Donald Trump. It's this very rhetoric that inspires people to act out violently against President Trump. Now, we can take a look at some of the social media posts, and found the X account belonging to the sex offender at the center of the manhunt in Arizona over alleged plans to assassinate Trump using the known alias Rudy Lee. He often posted on X about his dislike of Trump and the political right. Here he is. This is his sex offender registry listing, and he has dozens of aliases. Here is his X account. You repost, just keep drinking your Donnie Jim Jones Trump Kool-Aid. This guy definitely hates Trump. Not my president. Posting this meme. Keep drinking your radical right-wing orange Kool-Aid. That was just a few of the posts that Andy No had uncovered. Also, the Facebook alias account of the Arizona man wanted by law enforcement for the threat to Trump. Here is some of his posting. You can see some of the imagery talking about, here's where he is, talking about going to Arizona. Trump is going through here tomorrow and going to Naco, Arizona, to the port of entry here in port of entry to Mexico. There's a bar right there called Gay 90s. No, it's not a gay bar. Dawn and I will be there early. I bought a scope for my .44 revolver. Unlike the dweeb that missed, I won't. Maybe I'm joking, or am I? Wink, wink. So this is what he posted just about 21 hours ago. And here he says that the shooting was rigged. And he also says that he gives the shooter an A for effort. Would have gotten an A+ if he succeeded. By the way, the kid was a registered Republican. Gotta love it. So this is some of the rhetoric that he posted on Facebook, on X as well. And here's something interesting. This is what we're also learning about what happened in North Carolina. Now listen to this. There were arrests made in North Carolina, and the media was dead silent on it. Where's the post? Here it is. Here it is.
At least one arrest. It was about an hour after the rally concluded here. We looked over in the parking lot and saw this law enforcement presence, and then saw the law enforcement officials removing these weapons from the vehicle here, where at least one arrest was made. In terms of why they had the weapons here, if there was any motive or intention that was nefarious, we don't know that at this point. We're working to get more details, but it certainly underscores this concern of security that you've had, especially on today, the first rally since that assassination attempt in Butler, Pennsylvania, that was held in an outdoor venue like this.
So there you have it. North Carolina also experiencing something we're just learning about. But now we're learning that he was apprehended, captured, and arrested. Ronald Lee Servid, captured and arrested. So yesterday we were talking about the fact that RFK could soon be joining the Trump team, and there was concern that even more assassination attempts would amplify in the wake of that alliance. And we're learning now that Donald Trump will be speaking in Arizona tomorrow, and they have announced a special guest. They have not announced exactly who that guest will be. We can only guess that it will be Robert F. Kennedy. So Nancy Pelosi continuing to turn up the rhetoric, comparing Donald Trump to a criminal that deserves to be taken out. Donald Trump not being warned about this threat. But thankfully, they did, in fact, catch the suspect. So say a prayer. Say a prayer for Donald Trump. Say a prayer for this nation. May we can heal and we can move forward, and that these crazies will just stand down. But sadly, the crazies are sitting at the very top in Washington. People like Pelosi and Biden and Harris, all these people and their violent rhetoric are only contributing to this atmosphere of hatred, and it needs to stop. So we can now confirm that Ronald Servood, the man behind this chilling plot, has been apprehended by Cochise County Sheriff's deputies. But let's not breathe easy just yet. This arrest raises more questions than it answers. Why are these threats against Donald Trump intensifying? And what does it say about the state of our nation? One thing is certain. In these turbulent times, vigilance isn't just a virtue, it is a necessity. So stay tuned as this story continues to unfold, and say a prayer for Donald Trump. Okay, let's get into the chat and see your reactions to all of this. Yeah, Biden said in his speech, beat the crap out of Republicans. Yeah, talk about unity, right? Prayers for Israel, Trump bans safety, great evil is afoot. Rose says they need to be removed from office. It's safe to say the mysterious little baggies of cocaine found on White House grounds more than once, more than likely not belonging to Nancy Pelosi. Yeah, we've got a story about that later. General Public is one of our greatest generals ever, especially if he takes out... okay. Backwards at that, there's... Okay, I'm just looking through some of these chats. If the FBI wanted to arrest that goon, he would have already been in jail. Yes, there was a second attempt on Trump, TK. There was, and they apprehended the guy, and then there was a potential, there was an arrest yesterday in North Carolina. So back to back. Yeah. This is where we're at. Thou shalt not kill, says Kat. If you like RFK, you obviously never watched an interview. I've actually interviewed him before. Barry says the election's not going to happen. Okay, President Trump likes RFK. Yes, he does. All right, let's get to our next topic of the evening. While Kamala Harris sits comfortably in her ivory tower, President Trump is once again rolling up his sleeves and diving into the trenches of our nation's border crisis. Today, he visited Cochise County, Arizona, a place Kamala has consistently ignored despite her role as the border czar. What Trump found there isn't just a crisis, it's a full-blown invasion, and folks, the stories he's uncovering will make your blood boil. Now, check this out. Are you listening? As President Trump exposes the border chaos, it's clear that our nation's security is at stake. But here's the thing. You can't rely on the government to protect your assets. That's where global gold investments comes in. With the U.S. dollar weakening and our national debt spiraling out of control, gold is your safest bet. Don't wait for the economy to crash. Call 888-700-4148 today for a free portfolio analysis and the 2024 Ensure Your Money Wealth Preservation Guide. Mention Next News for VIP treatment, so secure your future now. Okay, let's get into what's going on down in Arizona. Donald Trump making a stop there today amidst this manhunt and this attempted assassination attempt. He was warned that it was not the safest place to go, but that did not stop the people from lining the streets. Look at all these people lining the streets to see Donald Trump and welcome him. A beautiful sight. Look at all those cars, all those people. Look at that. And this happens everywhere Donald Trump goes. Everywhere Trump goes. Where Biden shows up, no, nothing happens. No welcome like this. And this is a candidate. And of course, Harris, that's all AstroTurf. Some good news before we get to what's going on in Arizona. We got an election map here. Based on the newest polling from all 50 states, Trump is on track to win 302 electoral votes, clinching a second 4-year term. Look at this map. He's well positioned to flip Nevada, Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, and Pennsylvania, while the only swing state Harris wins is Wisconsin. And we know Harris was just in Wisconsin. Donald Trump, here he is. This is, I thought we had his plane arriving, but here's his car, his motorcade arriving right at the border wall. You will never see this type of video with Kamala Harris. She doesn't care. The globalists want these borders wide open. And there's a reason for that. They want to see this country destroyed from within. And they're willing to let millions of people enter this country illegally to do it. Donald Trump going right to the heart of the problem. President Trump meeting with families that have fallen victim to Kamala's open border. And here is just one of those victims, family member. Donald Trump brought a woman to the border whose skull was cracked by an illegal alien in San Francisco. The illegal was released from prison by District Attorney Kamala Harris. Listen to this.
I don't feel like I belong on the stage with the folks here, since I seem to have gotten off kind of easy with just a fractured skull. I didn't lose loved ones, but the night I was walking to dinner in Pacific Heights, it was a nice neighborhood. You wouldn't expect broad daylight for something violent to happen to you on the way to dinner. My purse was stolen, and I stepped into the street, and the car he jumped into came at me. I jumped up on the hood to avoid getting run over, and he floored it and hit the brakes. The police were great. They had caught him and his accomplice in a really short time, because I remember being on a gurney in the hallway of the hospital, and I had to ID them. They were laughing as they fractured my skull. What was really the worst part about it all, though, is when I found out that taxpayer money was paying for job training for this guy who avoided going to prison for the first felony he committed for jobs he couldn't legally hold. It was kind of a wake-up moment for me, and I moved out of San Francisco because I didn't feel safe there. And I don't think our country is going to be safe under Kamala Harris.
Wow. That's just one story. There were some other stories that were just, I couldn't even play them. I couldn't even play them.
Convention, as Kamala gives her convention speech tonight, she will not mention the victims. She won't even talk about them, although now that she sees us, maybe she will. She'll not say their names or express remorse to their families. Kamala says she wants to talk about the future. No, these people want to go back to the safe past. We don't have a future with open borders and all of the other problems this country has. The crime problem, just like they rigged the 818,000 jobs number, they rigged the crime numbers too. And that's also been a proven fact, just came out. But she's stolen the future of Lake and Riley and Rachel and our precious Jocelyn, just taking their lives away for no reason. As
Kamala will not be mentioning any of those people. Here is when Trump arrived at the border on Trump Force One. Thankfully, he landed safely. And as he's walking there, at that moment, there was a manhunt underway for an assassin who had threatened to kill Donald Trump. And in this very moment right here, he doesn't even know. He doesn't even know that there is a manhunt underway. Secret Service never notifying him until a reporter asks him about it. But here's the President, Trump, meeting people at the airport where he's landing. Very brave. I mean, that assassin could have been sitting there right in that crowd. President Trump currently doing Kamala's job down at the southern border. Drew Hernandez says, meeting with locals and law enforcement on the ground. Jason Miller taking that photograph. Here is, let's see, who is this?
I contrast that with Kamala Harris, and nobody can say that I didn't try to work with her. I met with her transition team. I told her transition team exactly what would happen if they got rid of his policies. We suggested policies to her within her parameters, and she refused to listen. I met with Secretary Mayorkas, again, trying to work with this administration. I supported Secretary Mayorkas' confirmation. It was a big mistake. A mistake that would never happen again.
Wow.
But in conveying to him, again, the policies that would actually work within their parameters, Kamala Harris completely ignored those policies. She claims that she wants a humane, safe border. Yet what she's given us is absolute chaos.
That's true.
Contrast that.
Absolute chaos at the border, reigning supreme. Here is another. This is the Cochise County, Arizona Sheriff Mark Daniels. Also,
Mr. President, when President Trump was president, I was at the White House more than you can think of. He was always there for us. I can assure you, Mr. President, this community and our law enforcement professionals will never give up hope. To us, hope is confidence, hope is commitment, hope is courage, and your visit today renews our hope here. Thank you, Mr. President, for being here.
Absolutely. So blessed to have him there. All the supporters out in force. Manhunt going on in the background. Donald Trump wasting no time. Here he is. There's Air Force Two getting ready to take off.
You can hear the engine spooling up, so here she goes.
This post from Bricksuit. So thankfully, President Trump got out of there safely. They apprehended the individual. We are living in some crazy times, my friends. Some crazy times, but thankfully, I'll open up. As I opened up with this map, I'll close with this map, that there is hope on the horizon. Donald Trump winning by 302 electoral votes, according to this latest poll. Kamala Harris, 236. Say a prayer. Say a prayer for this nation. So as Trump wraps up his border visit, the contrast could not be clearer. On one side, we have a leader willing to face the harsh realities of our border crisis head on. On the other, we have an administration burying its head in the sand, pretending everything's just fine and cooking the books. But you know better, don't you? The choice facing America in 2024 isn't just about policies. It's about whether we have the courage to confront our problems or the cowardness to ignore them. Drop a comment below with your thoughts. We'll see you with the next report. Okay, let's jump into the chat, see what you guys are saying about all of this. Big Chase says New Mexico will go red. I haven't talked to one person not voting for Trump. 7 Samuel says he should drop the outdoor rallies and stick with venues which are easier to secure. Ellen says pray nonstop. Yes, I do remember when Biden and Harris sold pieces of the wall dirt cheap. Pennies on the dollar, they're selling our nation. Gary Graham, hit the thumbs up, people. We the people, he says. James Thomas says we have a national emergency on our hands. Mexico is a major importer of produce, especially avocados. Countless Americans live in Mexico, and as the cost of living is more affordable, says James. Roger is watching from Grand Rapids, Michigan. Make Michigan great again. All this is doing is disemboweling our country, and that's the intention. Boyd, that is the intention. Hiding drugs in watermelon, says Jeremy. Sure you says we will likely end up in a war before Election Day so they can postpone or cancel them. I hope not. Netherlands in the house. What's up, Netherlands? I do want to give a special shout out to Anthony. I was talking with your brother today, and he said, tell my brother, Anthony, what's up. So, Anthony is in an undisclosed location. Stephen Morris asking the question, so there was another assassination attempt on Trump. It's, how do you explain this? The person made threats. They said they were going to intercept Trump, and he was talking about how he's on social media talking about this. So a manhunt was underway to find this individual, and they caught him. But then yesterday, there were 2 people arrested with firearms at the rally in North Carolina. So these are back-to-back events. What's up, Nebraska in the house? Mama Hen, 99. Good to see you. Okay, let's get into the next topic here. This was pretty wild, to say the least. Sorry, I'm having trouble with my earpiece. Just test the audio. I don't hear it. Brian, can we get an audio check on this real quick? Okay. Yeah, wait. Okay, I got it now. Okay. No, I got it now. Let me just make it. Wait. Okay, good. Man, this earpiece. I gotta get a new earpiece, guys. In a move that can only be described as political theater at its finest, Vivek Ramaswamy, the firebrand former presidential candidate, decided to crash the Democrat National Convention, but this wasn't just a publicity stunt, folks. What Vivek encountered at the DNC is a microcosm of the ideological civil war that's tearing apart the left. From communist newspapers to pro-Palestine protesters, the scene was nothing short of chaos. Now check this out. Are you listening? As we witness the chaos at the DNC, it's clear our roads are becoming as unpredictable as our politics, and that's where CarVision X dash cam comes in. With 4K Ultra HD night vision and 24/7 motion detection, you will have an eyewitness to every moment on the road. So don't let yourself become a victim of false accusations or insurance fraud. Visit carvisionx.com now to get free express shipping and exclusive bonuses during their summer special. Drive with confidence knowing that you are protected. So let's get into what happened. This was an unexpected arrival of Vivek Ramaswamy today. Tenet Media posting this video. Here he is getting swarmed by press and protesters outside the DNC at Union Park. But that was only the beginning. He appeared with Benny Johnson. They had a discussion about Joe Biden being removed as the nominee, predicting a possible resignation to give Kamala an incumbent boost, something that we have been concerned about. Mr. Reagan also bringing up that concern. We can play that in a moment. And then he was also confronted in the middle of protests outside, and he gets called a racist Zionist pig.
I am an American who is actually here to listen to the views of people who
I think that
disagree
America
with
will
me.
never be a socialist country.
One of the reasons I'm supporting a candidate in this election.
It is a very bad brand.
I support the United States, and because of that, I support Israel and our relationship with
You
it.
support a genocide that has killed 40,000 Palestinians in the last 10 months.
So look, I think that the truth is there was an attack that precipitated it.
No,
and we can't ignore that. We can't ignore that fact.
I don't play those kinds of games. I'm an organizer. I'm not one of your.
I'm also pragmatist.
I'm not one of these people.
You're not a party. You're not a partisan hack.
I'm not an acolyte of yours.
You're not a partisan hack for the Democrats or otherwise.
And I'm not a hack for you or for the Democrats or for the Republicans or nobody else.
I got you.
I'm asking you that you have no right to be here if you're not in support of the Palestinian people.
Well, I think
and if you're not going to call for an end to a genocide,
you have the right to be here.
If you're not going to call
so do we
for
in
an
return.
end to the genocide and an end to the killing and an end to the support of Israel, then you should take off. We don't want you here. You're not welcome here.
Well, the good news is we're America, and so we actually get to all express ourselves peacefully.
You get to express being a racist?
You get to
express being a racist Zionist pig? Is that what you get to express?
Wow.
I'm pro-American, but I believe in your right to speak.
Wow.
Speak your mind. None.
Racist.
That's a lie.
None.
That's a lie.
Zero.
That's a lie.
And actually,
you're not welcome here. Racists aren't welcome here. Racists aren't welcome here.
Go home. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, man. Good to see you guys. It's good to see you guys. Very interesting.
Wow.
Yeah.
That takes a lot of guts to go out there. Somebody with as high visibility as he is. This was Freedom News TV posted this just 4 hours ago. Vivek going up and buying a communist newspaper outside the DNC.
What's this one about?
Cash App, got the link.
I like this. See, the communists have Venmo. They've got all the digital infrastructure. I like that. Well, we can do cash.
Communists embracing capitalism, right?
What's your best book?
Oh, best book? Well, let's see. I don't want to give you one you might use. Here, how about if you want to know what we're about, brother?
That's good. Absolutely. What's this one about?
This is our paper. We write this and we produce it monthly.
How much is this?
Also $5.
All right. We'll give him a second $5. Sorry. Thank you.
Let's work together.
Shouldn't it be free?
So, let me ask you. Here's my issue. This is one of my issues with Kamala Harris. I want your perspective on it. I think she has two issues. She has not stated her actual policies, and the reason I respect somebody like Bernie Sanders more than I respect Kamala, and I've said this numerous occasions, I'm not saying it just right now, is if you have convictions, at least stand by them. If you believe in single-payer health care, if you believe in an effective national health care system for all, then stand by it. But why adopt those positions 4 years ago only to back off of them today? I could disagree with you, but at least have the position and stick to it. That's sort of what my criticism is. And my suspicion is there might be some counterintuitive alliances between the so-called far left and actually segments of the so-called far right that want to stay out of foreign wars, that want to end crony capitalism and lobbying and government capture, to say that, you know what, there might be ways where you may not agree with 100% of what I say or what Donald Trump says, but you don't have to agree with 100% of what somebody says to think outside the box and vote a little bit differently. What do you think? You said I am here to listen a little bit, so I'd love to hear your guys' perspectives on why you're here and why you have.
And then the clip ends right there. So buying communist newspapers when they should be free, right? Everything's communist newspapers. Here's a longer clip. Ford Fisher posting this. Let's see what's going on.
Offer a vision for the country, and that's exactly what. You want to talk? I actually would want to talk. Yeah.
How's it going, brother?
Good to see you. So tell me about you.
About me, my name is Austin. I'm with the Revolutionary Communists of America. It's the American section of the Revolutionary Communists
May I
of America.
take some literature?
You can read it, but it is for sale. That's for free.
It's for sale.
I know.
The
in a
communists
capitalist
are practicing
country.
capitalism. How much is it?
It depends. So that's all under $5. Paper's $5.
I think we can afford that. I would say.
All right.
Suspicion is there might be some counterintuitive
Okay, so we might be able to get the other side of that conversation.
alliances why you're here and why you have your own disappointments with the current direction of the Democratic convention.
Yeah, I would say just to respond to one thing, we don't have any illusions that these candidates on either side, obviously to be clear, that Trump or Kamala or RFK Jr. or any party that is backed by big business is going to be able to represent us. They can't be pressured into representing us because we don't pay their bills, we don't pay Kamala's, Trump's, we don't pay yours, because they all have financial backers. That's why we need a workers' party to take down the two ruling class parties, one that doesn't have funding from these big businesses and is instead funded by its membership.
Yeah, I mean, you realize the convention here, I don't need to preach to you then, I mean, who buys the sweets, right? Talking about populist talk from the floor of the convention, stand up for the workers and break up the very companies that are sponsoring the whole event, right? So there's a bit of a paradox there. But, all I would say is...
Paradox of what exactly?
Of controlled rhetoric, right? You have a lot of corporate interests controlling the way in which they actually assail those very corporate interests, which is kind of interesting. I think you might be saying something similar. It's all a bit of a charade.
Yeah, I would say one thing that is definitely we're not similar on is you were talking about unification of like the far right and the far left. There is no.
I don't know about unification. There may be some common threads.
Well, we would say this: there is no perfect American communism, American socialism like this. These other little parties popping up. It has to be international. We are here for the success of American working class, because the only way we can be there for the success of the American working class is the international working class in Canada and in Mexico. If you had some, and now we don't believe in this, but let's say there was some perfect, socialist America, it would immediately get pushed out by China, by Russia, by Europe. So we need an international socialist revolution in order to secure a true victory for the working class.
Woo! What do you say, Donald? What do you say?
We are transferring power from Washington, D.C., and giving it back to you, the people.
Thanks, Donald, for weighing in on that. We've got this clip here. This is from 4 hours ago, Benny Johnston posting this. Vivek sitting down with him inside of some location. Let's go ahead and play that. And Brian, if you could just take it full screen for us, that would be swell.
Confidence factor on this? You think it's going to happen?
But this the point I was going to make, Benny, is I think it's reasonably likely to happen. Yeah. But the point I was going to make is whatever they pull on the other side, I think that our biggest trap now with this short of a time left till the election is that we get consumed by those shenanigans, so much so that we actually forget to just remind the voters of who we are and what we stand for.
Yeah.
And if we do that, irrespective of what trick they pull, Kamala for Biden, who knows whether it's going to be President Kamala or not, who knows, right? The same people who told you that it was not going to be nominee Biden or nominee Kamala, that Biden wasn't going to be swapped out, now are going to tell you with the same confidence they did 6 months ago that he's going to serve out his term. My point is none of that matters. It doesn't have to matter if we don't make it matter. It doesn't have to matter if we actually focus on just communicating to the people of this country. What do we actually stand for in the first year? Seal the border, end the rampant crime. In Chicago, it's like, 14 murders a day? It's like 3 rapes per hour. It's insane statistics in this city. It's like every 18 seconds, you've got a car-related theft. I mean, it's like the numbers are off the charts here.
DNC guy was robbed. Like the delegate was robbed at gunpoint.
I mean, it's just
it's like down the block.
It's a statistical reality, right? Yeah. And if our message is we're going to seal the border, end violent crime.
They gave the robbers free
restore
vasectomies.
the rule of law. Yeah. Oh, the free vasectomy thing is interesting too, right? Because it actually almost proves the point that it's not about women's rights alone. It's actually about the agenda of ceasing family formation and having children, right? And so that almost becomes part of the agenda itself. And anyway, the point I was going to make is our risk right now, and the reason I'm not dwelling in the prediction. I have my senses of things that could happen, but I think it doesn't matter. It's irrelevant as long as we actually focus on our own affirmative vision that is independent of whichever puppet they put up.
Is this your biggest prediction that they're going to do the hot swap for Biden while he's in office to Kamala Harris? Or do you think he's going to be swapped out? Do you think there's something?
Now that matters less.
Do you think there's something else?
You mean yet to come?
Yes, yet to come.
I think that's the biggest one that's going to be in their control.
Yeah.
Right. So a lot of these things, I think that it's like you're just imagine you're a trader in the markets, right? You want volatility when you're out of the money. So I would say the poorer the polls go in Kamala's direction, the more likely they are to bet for volatility. The better the polls look, the more modulated their strategies are going to be. Right? So that's exactly what happened when they swapped out Biden. When you're out of the money, you have all the incentive in the world to play for volatility because it's not going to get worse than bad, because a lot worse than bad is still a loss. Versus if you have volatility in the other direction, you can actually eke yourself out a win. So that's what they did with the swap out of Biden with Kamala. So I think it's a function of how the polls are actually looking. If the polls start sinking for Kamala and the honeymoon phase phases out, I think you're going to see some wild strategies deployed. I think if it looks like, roughly like it does right now, I think they're going to be temperate in their strategy, and the furthest they might consider going is the idea of potentially, and they'd have the perfect logic to do it, to say that, okay, well, the health reasons that stopped him from serving, as the presidential candidate, we've made a thoughtful decision on what's best for the American people, and they'd even get to take credit for it. It would kind of make sense if they did.
Wow.
So I think that it's going to be a direct function of what their incentives are. And most people, most parties, most organizations act according to their incentives. Expect nothing different of the Democratic Party.
Oh, wow. Wow. The hot swap, as Benny puts it, is not outside of the reality of the situation. Here's more.
Contrary. These are people who are here because they have actual beliefs that are contrary to those represented by Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. So my sense is, at least a lot of what's here appears to me genuine. Donald Trump says the Republican Party says to vote for him, but if your top issue is staying out of World War, vote for merit and free speech. And you know what? The values this country was founded on. The reality is, vote for whoever you think is going to better do that. So you figure out who that is, and who's going to revive national pride and get us out of World War III. Figure out who you think is going to be the best person to do that. And whoever that is, that's going to be the right vote for the country.
Telling young people that we do not have the right to vote. You are a fraud. I'm the founder of Climate and telling the folks that we can't vote. You will debate us. You will vote. I think this is not
the only. These people are lunatics. Can't even have a conversation.
So I'm just curious, what group are you guys with?
Oh, of course, this was making headlines today, too. And there's Nancy Pelosi dropping something suspicious. So Vivek Ramaswamy dropping in unexpectedly to the DNC today. Didn't see that coming. But the DNC adventure is not just a headline, it's a wake-up call. The Democrat Party, once home to working-class Americans, has devolved into a cesspool of radical ideologies and anti-American sentiment. So as we watch Vivek being chased out by angry protesters, ask yourself, is this the party that you want leading our country? Well, the answer, my friends, is crystal clear. The DNC isn't just out of touch, it's become a danger to the very fabric of our nation. Drop a comment below. All right, let's check in with the chat room and see what everybody is saying. Yeah. What's up, Next News? SE31. Thank you for joining us tonight. And these, Robert says, these are going to be the most dangerous times from now until the inauguration. Things are going to get sideways. Certainly are. Make mental health great again, says White Knuckler. I had UK tears earlier today. Okay. Kathy Floyd says demon rats have shown they will do anything to stay in power and don't care if the people despise them and are dying from their policies. No, they don't care. They don't. What if Kamala steps down and Pelosi is president? I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's more likely that we would see, suddenly we would see, if Biden steps down, Kamala steps into the Oval Office, and I think that she would, by the nature of their ticket, bring Walz in as the VP. That would be a nightmare. But as Vivek said, they're going to watch the polls. They're going to be paying close attention. And if they see a dip in the polls, they might just do something very, very desperate. We have a starred chat message. A starred one here. Love your news updates. Thank you, Nelly Girl. Nelly Girl in the house. Thank you for that message. Okay. All right, let's get into this next story. Ladies and gentlemen, the Democrat National Convention isn't just a gathering, it's a train wreck in slow motion. From cocaine scandals to delegates getting robbed at gunpoint in the streets of Chicago, this convention is exposing the true face of the Democrat Party. But it gets worse. As Kamala Harris prepares to accept her coronation, the desperation in the air is palpable. So buckle up, folks. What we're about to take you on is a wild ride through the DNC's House of Horrors. Now, check this out. Are you listening? Well, the Democrats fumble at their convention. Smart investors are making moves. Let me introduce you to World Copper Limited, a company sitting on a potential gold mine, or should I say copper mine, with 7 million tons of copper waiting to be processed. We're talking about a potential revenue of over $200 million. As the world shifts to green technologies, copper demand is only going up. Don't miss this opportunity. Check out WCU on the TSX Venture and WCUFF on the OTC. Remember, always do your own research before investing, and you can check out the presentation by clicking the link in the description. So we're going to take you back into the DNC now. And Donald Trump weighing in on Elizabeth Warren's speech. Pocahontas is speaking at the DNC. She used her fake Indian heritage to scam the system. Her mother told her she had high cheekbones and therefore she was an Indian who would use this hoax on applications everywhere it worked until she got caught. Yes, we all remember that. The fire marshal, state fire marshal, has threatened to shut down the DNC. Chicago Contrarian posting just an hour ago that we've learned the DNC handed out too many tickets for the final night, and now the UC has become, the United Center has become overcrowded. The marshal has demanded the DNC remove some attendees. Now, there was some talk about a high-profile guest today. Some people actually thought that it was going to be George Bush giving a speech. Mitt Romney weighing in. Contrary to the fake news, I am not the surprise guest at the DNC tonight. It wouldn't surprise me if he was. My guess is that it'll be Beyonce or Taylor Swift. And I think we're learning also Beyonce is performing. So the speakers list today included Elizabeth Warren, the Chicks, formerly the Dixie Chicks, Gretchen Whitmer, Mark Kelly, Gabby Giffords, Roy Cooper, Maura Healey, Tammy Baldwin, Alex Padilla, Adam Kinzinger, the turncoat, Gloria Johnson, Justin Jones, Justin Pearson, Joe Neguse, Maxwell Frost, and Lucy Macbeth, Leon Panetta as well. So that was the lineup today that we learned about. And Rod Blagojevich weighing in just a few hours ago about the Democrats no longer prioritize the needs of working people.
It's a party that's controlled by snobs and elitists who are very wealthy, who've run away from the working class and poor people that they claim to be for. If I'm a working guy and I'm looking at this party and I'm thinking about the high cost of everything, I'm saying, you know what, bring down the cost of the price of my gas and I'll worry about my own vasectomy myself. Their priorities are upside down. It's a party I don't recognize.
It is a party
that's controlled by a snob.
Here, James O'Keefe infiltrating the DNC today, wearing a mask.
Use actblue.com to make the donation. If we could maybe have that money transferred through all these different people to make more of an impact, because it seems like that's what you guys are doing.
Yeah. So any questions you have, you can send to support.
Have you heard of James O'Keefe, O'Keefe Media.
Yeah, I'm in the council.
Hi, how you doing?
Can we leave out?
What's the issue? What's the issue?
You guys seem to be harassing her. She asked for help.
Well, how am I harassing her? Are you gonna? Can I ask you some questions? Are you gonna vote for Harris?
All right.
No, as soon as I started asking them questions, they ran away. This is the new technique. I'll just ask questions. People run away.
Confronting Act Blue at the DNC. Make sure you check out his latest. So we've got, we found our guest speaker. Yes, it is going to be the Dark Lord Satan himself, giving a few words. He's reported to be speaking in support of Harris Wall's ticket, surgically transitioning as early as possible. Oh, goodness. Yeah, wouldn't surprise me. Juanita Broadwick. Don Lemon says George Bush may be speaking at the DNC. And here's Don Lemon weighing in.
I'm sure you guys have read all the headlines, all the stuff on social media about who's going to be at the DNC. Is it going to be Beyonce? Is it going to be Taylor Swift? Here's what I hear from sources. If it's going to be anyone, it would be Beyonce, Taylor Swift, and George W. Bush speaking. Those would be the heavy hitters. And it could happen. I'm just saying.
Oh, yeah. Now, everyone was trying to figure out what happened today with Nancy Pelosi. Something fell out of her pants, and one Twitter user, ex-user, said a bag of what appears to be cocaine fell out of Pelosi's pants as she was entering the stage for her speech at the DNC convention. Now, personally, I don't think that looks like that would be quite a bit of cocaine. So I don't believe that that's what it was, personally. Maybe some notes. It's really hard to tell exactly what happened. Tissue paper, perhaps. And it looks like it came from her leg. Like, what, do you have a hole in your pocket and it fell all the way down? I mean, that's just crazy. But that's what everyone's asking. Texas Democrat delegate in town for the convention gets robbed at gunpoint in downtown Chicago. Drew Hernandez, a member of the Texas Democrat delegation in town for the party's convention, was robbed at gunpoint, according to CWB Chicago. And here's something that was interesting. Apparently these posters have been spotted all around Chicago. Let it all hang out, Chicago. Let it all hang out. The revolutionary communists are out tonight as well. And Mike Lindell. We got something from Mike Lindell as well here. I want to play that too. Everyone wanted to see what he looked like without his mustache. And here he is with Ben Berquam trying to determine which bathroom he should use, right? Because they're just gender neutral. Anyone can use it. Yesterday we reported on a veteran who was confronted for carrying an American flag at one of these rallies. And here he is. He was assaulted yesterday for having the American flag. He's out proudly waving it again and giving a speech.
Not foreign flags. Talking about a conference on the issues here in our committee. Black and white communities are struggling. Workers in this country are struggling. Communities are struggling. They want to sit here and talk about
American workers are with the Palestinians.
Talk about our nation.
We do not want to fund the Israeli-foreign conflict anymore. We want the money serving our communities, like the community here in Chicago.
Yeah, just an overall circus all around happening at the DNC. This was great. I want to share this with you. This is a recap of the DNC so far.
So joy. Welcome to the Democratic National Convention 2024. We are just so joyful. So much joy. So much joy.
We hate Trump! We hate him so much!
Joy. Joy. That is our mantra. Trump, Trump, Trump. Everything in the country right now is going great, and you want another 4 years of this. Abortion is awesome. Our platform is just to give money away until we run out. If anyone here would like an abortion, just feel free to step outside to the mobile unit out back. Free abortion. I don't think we've told you enough how much we hate Trump. Trump, Trump, Trump. We are having such a party here. We are so joyful. It's okay for us to have multiple homes, but we're suspicious of anyone that takes more than they need. Joy! Joy! We have a lot of celebrities here. And they can really relate to the common everyday needs of your average American. Trump is a horrible human being. The other side is evil. It's really time to stop the division and come together in unity. Free vasectomies! Again, out back, mobile unit, if anybody wants to, you know. The other side is just so weird. Again, we just need to love each other despite our differences. We're not going back to a secure border, lower inflation, lower cost of living. Joy!
The conservative mama posting that. Just a circus. All around circus at the DNC. Here we have the pro-Palestine protesters screaming F the DNC. Disrupting outside of the VP Harris and Biden fundraiser at the Chicago Cultural Center. I need to get a horn like that. I like that. Okay, enough of that. There's a good clip here that Ben Berquam posted. Here it is. Brian, this is about 3 minutes. Let's put this full screen for everybody so they can get the full effect. Ben Berquam, Democrats voting for Trump must watch. Kamala Harris set to be installed as the Democrats' presidential candidate after Joe Biden was kicked to the curb. I run into black Democrat voters for Trump in downtown Chicago. Let's go full screen.
No, we're not.
We've got some of the former Democrats that are MAGA Trump supporters now. Yes. That's it right here.
Trump supporters.
Trump supporters in Chicago. Right here, right here, right here. I love that. What do you guys think about Kamala? What do you guys think about Kamala coming out here and expecting your vote, taking it away from Joe Biden? Are you guys buying this crap anymore from the Democrats?
No, we're not.
Not buying it.
Not buying it. Not buying it.
I love it. Awake, not woke out here. That's it. There it is. They're awake in Chicago. What's the number one issue that made you make the change? Yeah.
Kamala Harris, there was a man on death row when she was in California. He found innocent, but she wouldn't let him go.
Wow.
She wouldn't let him go.
A man on, I want to make sure everyone heard that. A man on death row in California found out to be innocent. She wouldn't let him go. Wow.
She wouldn't let him go.
Illegals? Illegals, big issue here. Anybody else? Illegals? Economics? Illegals? Yeah. Anyone else? Any jobs?
Yeah.
That's it?
The big one is the immigrants.
Yeah. That's it.
That's real big.
They taking over our neighborhoods, everything. I ain't got nothing against it.
Yeah, just come legally.
Yeah.
No, it ain't.
And don't take our money. This is what I don't understand. You got people in poverty. You got Democrats running this city for 60 years, not doing anything, and then you bring in all these new people to take away.
And they giving all the benefits to them.
Say that again?
They giving all the benefits to them.
Crazy.
But you got people living in tent city up north.
That's right.
They won't give them house.
They won't give them house. Homeless veterans, homeless Americans.
And it's hard for us to get jobs. And I don't
Say
do
that
nothing.
again?
It's hard for us to get jobs now.
That's it.
It's hard for us to get jobs.
You're competing with them.
Yeah. And they getting all the jobs. And I've been staying, I grew up, born and raised there. I ain't did nothing.
Unbelievable.
And I've been trying to get jobs for the longest.
Yeah.
For real.
What's your name?
David.
What's your last name?
English.
David English. What kind of work are you trying to get?
I've been doing factory work. I was working at Alpha Bakery for one, and I got railroaded about it up for nothing.
All right, do me a favor, guys. If you got a job opportunity, tell me your name again.
David English.
David English. in Chicago, hit me up. Send me a direct message. I'm going to put this on social media. David English, hit me up. My email is ben@frontlineamerica.com. You guys can hit me there. And I'm going to get David's contact information, and we'll get you guys connected. So if anyone's got a job out there in the Chicago area that doesn't want to give it to an illegal, that wants to give it to hardworking men here in Chicago, whether you're a factory owner, anything else, guys, give me a holler. And look at this. God bless you, brother.
Same thing.
God bless you, man. That's it. Jobs for American citizens, not for illegals. Help our own inner city, not people coming in from others. Stop lying to the people. That's the bottom line. Stop lying to the people. God bless you guys. All right, stay tuned. The DNC is ending today. We got to end Kamala's reign. Get President Trump back in there. We got people awake here in Chicago, waking up to it, in the very heart of Chicago. Stay tuned.
Ben Bergquam on the scene. Good stuff right there. From the streets of Chicago. You're hearing it directly. And here is another quick interview with Kamala supporters who don't know anything about her policies.
What's your favorite policy of Kamala's?
Her being president.
That's your favorite policy position?
Oh, yeah.
How so?
Because it covers everything that she defends.
I'm really excited for her to restore reproductive rights across America. How do you think she'll go about doing that? I don't know.
Fun question.
I don't know. I'm picking and choosing. I mean, I really like most of them.
So you have to look at it broadly, right? It's about what she stands for right now.
What's your favorite of Kamala's policies?
I'm trying to think. Well, actually, more of like, well, you know what, Waltz comes in.
All of her policies, everything from I'm non-binary, and so all of the policies for basic human rights to have our own bodies and do with them as we please, you know.
Her willingness to move forward on affordable health care.
How do you think she'll do that as president?
I think she'll work to motivate the legislature to vote in favor of it.
As her as a person, just tops out any policy. I really admire her.
Great, thank you both so much. Be up for a quick interview?
Yeah.
Oh, but should we remind you of how the press was treating Kamala Harris just a short while ago?
Rating of any vice president. Well, there are polls that also say I have great approval ratings.
Swing voters don't like Harris. How big a drag is Kamala Harris on the ticket?
She's a pretty big drag. I think she was arguably Biden's worst political decision.
They don't like her. There's lots of reasons they don't like her.
Kamala Harris's approval rating is now at 28%, which is an historic low for any modern vice president.
We're hearing it from mainstream media, one outlet after another, one leak after another. That Kamala Harris is the worst vice president ever, the worst politician ever.
We don't see the vice president. What people are saying to me, and I'm sure they're saying it to you, where's the vice president? Some White House officials are feeling that she came off looking unprepared for inevitable questions about when she might visit the southern border.
We've been to the border.
You haven't been to the border.
And I haven't been to Europe. And I don't understand the point that you're making.
The point that Lester Holt was making was obvious to anyone else who was watching this interview, which is that the issues at the border are inextricably linked with the portfolio that she's been given.
The border is secure. We have a secure border.
Bidenomics is working. Prices have gone up. And families and individuals are dealing with the realities of that bread costs more, that gas costs more. And we have to understand what that means. That's about the cost of living going up.
He picked Kamala Harris to be his running mate. She was ranked and is ranked as the most liberal senator in the United States Senate. So he could have gone the other way, but he went to the left.
Joe Biden is running for re-election, and I will be his ticket mate. Full stop. Full stop. That's it.
His ticket mate, Kamala the Terrible. And here is...
How does it feel to sell out America? Did they pay you to do it, or did you do it just to spite President Trump because he fired you? He's one of the first ones that should be on that retribution list, along with the Soros DAs and judges.
So that's a recap of the last day of the DNC as the dust settles on this debacle. One thing is crystal clear: the Democrat Party is in free fall. They've abandoned working Americans in favor of radical ideologies and failed policies, but here is the silver lining, folks. Their implosion is our opportunity. It's a chance to reclaim our country, to put America first once again. So as you watch the circus unfold, remember, 2024 is not just an election year. It is a moment to save America. All right, let's check in with the chat. Get your reactions on this. Let's deport Kamala, says Danny. I've never been to Spain, says Robert, but I hear it's insane there. God-fearing Christians cannot be brainwashed by the left demagogues, says Debbie. John's watching on his PC, all right. All the stupidity under one roof. Yes, it is. Okay, let's check in on the latest happenings on the X feed right now to see exactly what's happening. Did George Bush actually show up? Candace Owens says 38 minutes ago that is Taylor Swift. Meanwhile, the Trump campaign announces a special guest to be joining President Trump at his Phoenix rally. A black woman beats a woman after she was called the N-word. A masked leftist runs in to stomp on the white woman. Oh my. The White House releases a bizarre photo of Biden watching the final night of the DNC. The President of the United States was sent on vacation after party leaders forced him off the ticket. They didn't even want him in the audience. And here's old Joe watching. Very strange placement of a television right there. Clearly another stage photograph. Kamala's VP Tim Walz had a private meeting with Alex Soros today. Wonderful. 4 minutes ago, this looks like footage from yesterday. Oh, no, maybe not. Screaming F America outside the DNC while burning an American flag. What's up with Alex Soros' fingernails? Ew, that's creepy. Steven Crowder So this came in to a tip, and sorry about the blurriness. I'm not sure why it looks so blurry. It shouldn't be. Chaos at the DNC as unconfirmed delegates put on keffiyehs and lock arms. So looks like tomorrow's going to be a big, big day for the Trump campaign. Definitely looking forward to that. Now, I'm not sure if we will actually be having a show tomorrow. My wedding anniversary is coming up. And sometimes you've got to put family above everything. And this is one of those moments. So we'll have to wait and see. I have to talk to my wife about that. DNC, why did the superstar relevant black celebrities come out for Kamala at the convention? Oprah showed up. Where's LeBron, Beyonce, Jay-Z, Kevin Smith? Okay. Greg, I love this account. It's pretty obvious who Trump's special guest is going to be tomorrow. And they put Taylor Swift on the picture. Tucker Carlson reacting to the DNC an hour ago, noticing that Democrats' entire platform is built on dismantling the First and Second Amendments. Media advisory special guest to be joining Trump. United Center is way beyond capacity for Harris' speech tonight. Floor has been closed off lines. People with credentials are outside, not being let into the arena. That's because the fire marshal said, you can't have it. Let's see what he says.
So it's a little after 9 o'clock. We've got the DNC on, and it's just unbearable. And so to help us bear it, Jason Whitlock is here.
Oh, and I'm loaded for bear. I am loaded for bear.
Some kind of unidentified cocktail.
Old-fashioned.
Good old-fashioned.
Good
We'll
one.
be on at 9:30. So it's
good for you. Whoa! Oh, that was in the UK. Beyonce is the one at the DNC, giving a little bit of a speech there. While they play make-believe in the DNC, these are the streets of Chicago. 47 minutes ago, all hell's breaking loose.
All right. Okay, you see, they're really getting into it right there. All right.
Wow. Another confrontation during the middle of the march outside the DNC. Self-proclaimed anarchist just called a black Department of Justice officer a white supremacist and also insulted him by saying you're on the wrong side of history.
Premises, Uncle Tom. How many war criminals have you locked up? 0. Exactly. That makes you complicit in genocide. You're on the wrong side of history, black man. All right. You're on the wrong side of history, motherfucker.
Wow. What's this? That's pretty cool. All right. I think we can call it a night. It's been a great show. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Alex saying the globalists are plotting to assassinate Trump. And we just noticed that there was an attack on Trump, an attempted attack on Trump today and yesterday. The floor locked down by the fire marshal. Okay. It could go on and on. So there you have it, folks. Another night of raw, unfiltered truth here on the Raw feed. We've covered a lot of ground tonight, from assassination attempts to border invasions, from DNC chaos to Democrats' desperate scramble for relevance. But here's the thing. This is not just news. It's a call to action. Every story we've covered tonight is a reminder of what's at stake in 2024. Not just an election. It's a battle for the soul of America. So I want you to do something for me. When you leave here tonight, don't just go back to your regular routine. Take what you have learned and spread it. Talk to your neighbors, your coworkers, your family, and be the voice of reason in a world gone mad. Because at the end of the day, that's what the Raw feed's about. We're not here to tell you what to think. We're here to give you the tools to think for yourself. And in times like these, that might just be the most revolutionary act of all. Until next time, stay vigilant, stay informed, and above all, stay free. This is Gary Franchi signing off.